Hi, and welcome back to COMM1160. This is week number 3, video number 1. In this video, we're actually going to start learning about APA style, and it'll be our first part. So we're going to be spending about 2 weeks or so on APA. As usual, I did want to warn you that I do have my cat with me. So hopefully she'll stay quiet, but she has been meowing a lot this morning. So you may hear some interruptions as I'm going through. So bear with me. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're going to be looking at APA style this week. And people have different levels of experience with APA style. So some of you may have encountered it in other programs, diplomas or degree programs that you've taken elsewhere. Some of you may have had some experience with it in high school. Some of you may have had no experience with it whatsoever. So everyone's coming at it with, a different level of background. I am going to start from the beginning, okay? So everything that I'm presenting, I'm going to assume that you haven't encountered APA before. So if you are a little bit familiar with it, some of the things that I might be mentioning today may be common knowledge to you. Let's talk about APA style. APA style gets thrown around as a term all the time in healthcare programs. What is it? All APA style is the way that documents are formatted. So that includes stuff like essays, assignments, and scholarly papers. It's a set of rules that are really similar to the rules of the road. Okay, so when everyone is driving, everyone agrees that you stop at a stop sign, that you go forward when there's a green light. And we all follow the same set of rules so that we're all doing the same thing and that there's consistency in how people are doing things. APA is the same type of idea. It's simply a set of rules about how you're going to format and how you're going to present information. And the idea behind it is that what you're doing is you're being consistent and preparing stuff in exactly the same way. This way, right, everyone in healthcare understands what everyone else is doing. But like the rules of the road, when you first start learning APA style, it's challenging. So I'm going to assume most people in our class drive, but even if you don't drive a car, I'm sure you've had an experience where you've ridden a bike. And you know that when you're first starting to learn how to operate a vehicle, whether it's a car or a bike, initially the process seems really, really difficult. So if I even think of myself, right, when I was learning how to drive, I remember the first few lessons that I had. I was convinced that I would never be able to understand and apply all the different rules that I had to keep in my mind. And it was scary, right? I was getting adjusted to the process of driving. I had to actually physically remind myself to do things. So when I was turning a corner, I had to remind myself to put the blinker on. When I was nearing a stop sign, I had to physically remind myself to take my foot off the gas, move my foot to the brake, and start stopping the car. Fast forward to years later, when I've been driving for a number of years, I now do this stuff automatically. I don't even need to think about it. My body just does it, right? So when it's time to turn a corner, my hand goes out and I hit the signal. When it's time to stop, my foot automatically goes off the gas and over to the brake. But at the beginning, I had to actually be really, really mindful of all of these different activities. Now I do it without even thinking. Okay, my body, and I'm sure you're the same way, your body just does it. It's the same thing with the APA rules. So initially, when you're first learning them, they seem really awkward, and it seems like there's a million things that you need to remember. But eventually, with some practice, you'll find that it gets easier and easier. And after you've done it a number of times, your brain won't even be involved. You're just going to automatically start following those rules and be able to fly through putting together documents in APA style. APA covers all sorts of different things. So there's all sorts of different rules that you follow. Everything from the way that you set up a paper in Word, okay, through to how you show that you've used research material. So there's all sorts of different rules for all sorts of different things. We're going to break it down and go slow. When do you use APA style? Well, APA style is something that you're going to be living with now for the rest of your life. On all healthcare papers and assignments, unless your professor states otherwise, the expectation is that you'll be using APA format. Okay? So professors in the nursing program, professors in the massage therapy program, professors in the pharmacy program are going to expect that you're going to be using this style consistently for the assignments that they're putting forward. So you will be doing it over and over. But you're also going to be using APA professionally after you graduate, whenever you're writing material that integrates some form of research. Okay, so if you're involved with writing some kind of report, let's say you're working as a nurse and you're asked to write a report about cancer treatment in Ontario, you'd be doing some research and you would be using APA format to show how you've used that research. Also, too, if you end up working in public health or in any type of healthcare related position where you're going to be doing a lot of research and providing information, the expectation is that you're going to use APA style. But right now, as a student, know that at Niagara College, your area professors are going to expect you to know and use APA. And oftentimes they give a large number of points on an assignment just for the APA formatting. So while it is tricky and it is a bit of a pain to learn how to use APA correctly, it really does pay off because it will bring your grade up on a paper if you're doing everything correctly. It also, again, will help you professionally. Learning APA, as I've hinted to you before, can be really frustrating. And so I wanted to give you that warning ahead of time because a lot of times students get really sort of stressed out about all of these different rules and expectations for you to follow. But as I mentioned before, just like rules of the road, with practice, you are going to be able to find that you're able to do it easily. And in fact, in a few months, you'll laugh that APA ever seemed challenging to you. It really doesn't take any brain power. I'm going to be honest with you, okay? It doesn't take any brain power at all. All it is a following pattern. So different patterns will be set up for different ways that you do things. And all you need to do is follow the instructions and follow the pattern. We're going to spend the next 2 weeks looking at APA. So we are going to go slow, but we will cover everything that you need. And in today's videos, we're going to focus on two things just to start: the formatting for an APA paper and the references page. Next week, we're going to take a look at how to do something called APA in-text citations. So let's start off by talking about formatting rules. And when I talk about formatting rules, what I'm talking about is how you actually set a paper up, set an assignment up in APA. The first rule is that you need to follow all the formatting rules exactly. APA, unfortunately, has no room for creativity. APA wants you to follow specific rules very specifically. The first thing is that you do need to include page numbering, and the page number has to appear in the upper right-hand corner of the page. Your essay title always appears at the top of the first page of text. You're also going to be using true double line spacing throughout the text. You're only allowed to use Times New Roman or Arial font in 12-point size. And your margins have to be set to 2.54 centimeters. Whew, okay, that's a lot, right? Very, as I said, very, very specific and very, very picky. Let me show you. I've just mentioned the rules. Let me actually show you the rules in action. I'm just going to open up a file here where I'm going to show you what an APA paper looks like. So I've set up a fake paper in actual APA format so that you can see all of these rules in action. And so I'll just draw your attention to the different parts that we were talking about. The first thing to notice over here on the right-hand side, you have your page number. And that page number continues on every single page of your assignment. This first page here is our title page for APA. And on the first line of the title page in bold, you're going to type out the title of your essay or the title of your assignment, even if it's something simple like assignment number 2, okay, or assignment number 8. Whatever the assignment title is, you're going to place it in bold. You're then going to put in your first and last name. Underneath that, you're going to put in the name of your institution. So right now, that's obviously Niagara College. The next line is the course code that you're submitting the paper for. The next line is the professor's name that's teaching that particular course code. And then the final line is the date expressed as month, numerical date, comma, year that you're actually submitting the assignment. And notice that all of this is centered on your title page. It has double spacing all the way through, and it's a little bit further down from the top of your page. Okay. All of this follows APA rules. So it has to look exactly like that, your title page, in order to be using APA style correctly. Okay. You can't put stuff in different order. You can't put stuff over on the left-hand side. It has to be centered. It has to appear exactly as you're seeing on the screen. Okay, so that's our title page. So very basic looking and easy enough to do. You'll also maybe notice here as I'm going through that in addition to the page numbers on the side, I do have the margins of 2.54. And notice that I'm also using what they call left justify, which means that everything lines up here over on the left, but is a ragged justification, okay, over on the side. I'm using Times New Roman 12, okay, in this particular document. Also, you'll notice that I've repeated the title of my assignment right up at the top on the first page where I'm actually beginning to write my assignment. Other things to notice as I'm starting new paragraphs, I'm tabbing over one to create an indentation. Oh my goodness, Ari is certainly meowing. I don't think she likes APA style. She's trying to tell you that she's bored. Ari, Mummy is recording a class. I don't know if that will do any good if I tell her. Sorry about that, everybody. I hope it isn't too distracting. As I go through, here's my paper. So here's my assignment as I'm writing it up. And I continue on to page 3, on to page 4. When I finish my paper or my assignment, I end and I leave the rest of the page blank. Okay, so APA likes to waste paper. Even if you only have one word on your final page, you're going to leave the rest of the page blank. And then finally, on our last page, we have something called the references list. I'm going to cover how to do this list when we get together in our next video, but just take a look at it in terms of your formatting. Okay, so again, same font, Times New Roman 12, still has the page number over on the side. Okay, so again, pretty easy to set up in terms of your technological setup in Word. It's not overly difficult to do any of these things, but I have a question for you. Would you like a present? And whenever anybody asks you if you want a present or a gift, the answer should always be yes. The present I'm going to give you is this fake APA format so that you can use it as a template. I've gone in and I've already set up all the margins. I've set up the page numbers. I've set up where everything should appear on the screen. Now what you can do is actually use the template. So I'm going to put this file in course documents so that you can open it up in Word. And I'm going to suggest that you save a copy as a template so that you can actually use it for all of your work. In our next video, I'm going to look at how to modify the template. So we're going to do sort of a quick review of how you would go in. Really, it's quite simple. You're just going to go in and replace the fake information with your own information. I will note, okay, that it might be useful to print out a copy of the template and make notations as we go through the next video. Especially if you like to have stuff on paper, it might be useful to actually have that fake paper on hand. We'll again go over the specifications and take a look at how to do the modifications. I'll talk to you in our next video.